My name is Sizzle. I'm the founder of Central Ohio's first Black-owned brewery, Crafted Culture Brewing Company, right here in Gahanna, Ohio, in the northeast suburb out of Columbus. I tell people, like, we built this for the people, like that Common song, man, you know. I bump that joint, like, almost every day, man. Like, I can hear it all day long when people come through here, you know, this is street radio for unsung heroes, riding in the Regos, trying to stay legal. You know, I do it for the people, like, that's what it was for, like. We really centered ourselves on building a platform of equity and inclusion. We put the people before the product, and that's what's been different about us the whole way through. Like, when we was just a brand, we was just an image, right? We wanted to portray that image of equity and inclusion. We wanted to collaborate with people who didn't look like us, because that's how we harvest information. I think that craft beer is just a liquid extension of cooking. This is like spending time in the kitchen with my grandma. You know what I'm saying? Like, growing up. I tell people all the time, like, we don't brew beer here. We cook in soul. We take things that mean something to us in different ways, and we put them into the beverages that we make. It's an extension of seasoning food the way we've been doing it as a people our whole lives. Like, there's some ethnic portion of you out there. Like, if you tied into your ethnic roots as a person of color, like, dig into that, and I guarantee you there's a beer you can make. Black representation in this industry it's lacking, and it's necessary because it goes beyond just an industry thing for me, right? When I did my research on this industry, like when I first got this bug to try to do this, I Googled, why don't black people drink craft beer? That was my Google search that started all of this, right? And then you read the stories about the racism and the redlining in craft beer. You know, like the first black brewery in the United States was actually like People's Brewing. He bought another production brewery that was already up, right? They were going under. He and some friends got together, they pooled their money, they bought this brewery. As a black-owned brewery, he was trying to sell his beer to people, right? But he was trying to sell kegs and cans to the restaurants and the grocery stores and get a distributor, right? And he was redlined out of the industry. No one would buy his beer because he was black. You know, and now here we are in this craft beer landscape where there's 7,300 craft breweries in the United States, or at the time of my research, 7,300 craft breweries in the United States. Those 7,300 breweries are sharing a $27 billion pie. All right? 12% of those dollars, that's 3 Bs. 3 Bs were African American dollars. How many black-owned breweries did we have at that time? 56. So how you 12% of the pie with less than 1% of the market? I was like, yo, that's an imbalance. Like, there's clearly a need, because the Jewish dollar cycles this community 11 times before it leaves. You know what I'm saying? The Asian dollar 7 times, the Hispanic dollar 3 times, the black dollar goes halfway down the street. I was like, so if for nothing else than to get that dollar around the block one time, I'm happy, bro. Like, if I can help just make that happen one time around the block, like, we made a change. That's what we say, beer to change. And we're gonna use beer to make change for these people. If nothing else, I'm gonna take this money out of this industry and put my kids through college. Beer made change, didn't it? Then we started looking at, as a group of us who own this thing, we started looking at the things that we could utilize beer to help impact, right? We always say engage, educate, and expand, right? Those are our core values. So it's like, yo, to beer to change, like, we gotta engage this group of people that the industry is not engaging. Not to make money off these people, but to make it comfortable for them to explore this industry. I'm just excited for people who haven't had a voice in this industry to get one through me. I say it like, yo, look, I am not special in any way. I'm just a math nerd with a mouthpiece. I'm the megaphone, right? Like, so if you ain't had a voice in craft beer, like, Crafted Culture is here to speak up for you. It took 40 years for Central Ohio, 40 years for Central Ohio to get their first black-owned brewery. Like, we got to get the next one in less than 4. My ridiculous struggle could be somebody's dream. It could be their goal. It could be their true pursuit. Like, that's so wild. And the fact that I see it, like, whether it sticks in my kids or not, the seed is planted. You know, when my son is in a Zoom with his classmates and he got a Crafted Culture t-shirt on, it ain't his, he done stole it from me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he got a Crafted Culture t-shirt on. My twins, they little dudes, man. Like, they go to sleep in, like, my Crafted Culture shirts. Or I come home and the back of my hat You know what I'm saying? It'd be like this. I'm like, man, I can't put that on. Like, you try to put your hat on, you be like, yo, bro, come on, man, who had my hat on? You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, my guy, look at that, I know it was you. Like, those moments mean something, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's happening in these different industries around the world, like around our community, but I get to see it happening in mine, like in my house. Black beer is a thing in my house. My kids, they don't get the negative image of beer that we got growing up. It's no longer the dude in the outdated field jacket with the 40 in the brown bag on the corner in the hood. Like, my kids see beer in so many different ways right now, and their friends get to see it in so many different ways. My neighborhood loves when I come back to the house with they know when I pull up with the big brown bag that I took the grain that we used to make beer and I made dog treats out of it. So now I'm giving dog treats out to all the dogs in the neighborhood because me and my kids turn that spent grain into dog treats. They love that stuff. They see the sustainability in this. You see what I'm saying? They see different things they can do. My son wants to make soda. One of my 8-year-old sons wants to make soda because he saw this. Like, we inspiring these kids to intentionally get into these industries. And that's what's big, man. So we definitely want crafted culture to become a cultural hub. We want to create a path for people to, like, be proud of their businesses. You know, I read that article from Beer Advocate where they listed all the Black-owned breweries in the United States. And a lot of people were celebrating that thing, you know, and I was like, I had a moment where I was like, man, I don't think the gravity of this last paragraph really hit people, because in there it says, there are other breweries we feel should be on this list, but they don't want to be identified as or targeted as Black-owned businesses or Black-owned breweries. And I was like, yo, it's 2021, and people out here embarrassed and afraid to be Black and in business. So I'm like, yo, what other minority segment is feeling that? I used to tell my kids, if you hang around 9 champions, you'll be the 10th. So Crafted Culture is the spot that's just trying to put 9 champions in a room together and build the 10th one when they show up. So we reach out to companies like Camelot Cellars, Black-owned winery in Old Town East, Adela's, Black-owned restaurant, Our Bar, Black-owned bar on the east side, Stadium, Black-owned restaurant around the corner, Upper Cup, Black-owned coffee shop around the corner from me right now. Right, that's why we reach out to Pete Abilities, the female-owned food truck. That's why we reach out to Moody Trudy, female-owned food truck. We're gonna give these minorities the opportunity to make major differences in their community. You know, we don't have a flagship style. You know what I'm saying? The vibe is what we're here for. I tell people all the time, do not leave any idea unexplored. Somebody once told me, you are pregnant with possibilities. And every time you put your idea in the trash, you're aborting it. Do not abort that, man. Keep that. Run with it. Don't let nobody tell you no. Or if they tell you no, get 97 people to tell you no on the quest to find 3 people to tell you yes, because that's all you need.